This is BeatStars Gurus, the music marketing podcast for ambitious musicians. It's powered by BeatStars, the easiest way to sell beats, songs, albums, and keep 100% of your sales. To start selling for free today, visit BeatStars.com. Hey music makers, my name is Abe and I'm the host of the BeatStars Gurus podcast. Each week we put out podcast interviews with successful musicians, experts, and entrepreneurs that will help inspire, motivate, and give you tips to increase your sales, traffic on your BeatStars store so you can live the life that you dream of having. What's up, everybody? It's Abe with BeatStars, and this is the BeatStars Gurus podcast. And we've got a special guest today, a music producer that goes by the name of Just Enough Rhythm, aka James, based in the East Coast. We'll get to learn more about him. James, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
Doing great, man. Thank you for taking the time to, sit down and talk with us and let the BeatStars community get to hear you on a more personable level, and appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me. This is actually an honor and a privilege.
Yeah, man. So, like we spoke off air, I was just saying, I normally wouldn't do an interview with a producer that I haven't really learned much about and haven't had haven't had history with. Right. But I'm a music head, and music is everything to me. And your music really compelled me, and it really hit me emotionally. And I feel like more producers with such originality and substance in their music needs to be heard. And so I really wanted to take time and just give you that opportunity to let the world hear about you. So congrats on really catching my ear and catching the ear of the editorial staff at BeatStars. Congrats on that for sure.
Thank you so much. That means a lot to me.
So tell us, man, who's Just Enough Rhythm, and why did you start producing music?
Okay, well, Just Enough Rhythm is where can I begin? I'm just an average guy. I have a family. I have 2 kids. I have a granddaughter. I started producing many years ago. My mother was heavily into soul music, so I have a lot of soul music influence. And the first time that I actually created a beat, I was about 12 years old. And I started taking producing a little bit much more serious as I got older. And me and my brother-in-law, we were he's a rap artist, and I started working with him. I bought all this equipment, and and we just believed in each other, And I try to put as much of my emotions in my music. My music is a way of me expressing myself, is how I feel about it.
That's awesome, man. So you would say you would at least have been doing this for at least 10 years, 20 years, maybe?
I've been doing this for about 16 years.
16 years. Cool. So who are have you collaborated with anyone else outside of your family?
Actually, yes. I collaborated with an artist by the name of Mr. Man. He's a local rap artist in Brooklyn. He's actually extremely good.
Mm-hmm. I've actually heard of him.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's unbelievably talented.
Mm-hmm.
He's amazing. I love his work.
Cool, man. So where are you currently based out of? Where are you from originally?
Oh, I'm originally from Harlem.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in Harlem, and then I moved to New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
And I currently live in New Jersey now.
Cool, man. Harlem has a rich history in music, so.
Oh yeah, I'm a big fan of Teddy Riley, Dougie Fresh. Yep. I grew up. That's what I grew up on.
That's awesome. Yeah, so that's really my next question is who are some of your biggest musical influences, and even some of your biggest just life influences in general? Like, who are some of the people that just really have had an impact on you and your music?
Musically, I would say the biggest music influence for me is Prince. God bless his soul. Like, I mean, he was such a great innovator, such an amazing talent. And for me to hear him, blend rock and funk and pop music together the way that he did, and just create these unbelievable, tracks and these unbelievable songs, that was one of my biggest influences. And then there was also Stevie Wonder. I love Stevie Wonder. Mm-hmm. There's Quincy Jones, Teddy Riley, and then on the hip hop side is DJ Premier. There's Dr. Dre. There's so many producers that I admire and I look up to.
That's awesome. So, I was snooping around on your social profiles, just trying to find some more insight about you. Just trying to learn more. And one thing that that stood out to me in your Twitter tagline, you say that you're a music producer and you produce R&B, pop, and hip hop, and then you end your tagline with "I strive to be a positive force in the world." Now,
absolutely.
How do you feel you can contribute in a positive way with your music for the world? Like, what is it that you dream or are doing presently to really be a positive force in this world?
That's a very good question. Music is such a powerful influence on people. It's a part of our everyday life, So I try to be as positive as I possibly can. We all have our ups and downs in life, but I try to make the best of every situation. One of the reasons why I left the paralegal field was I had some health issues, but I turned those health issues into a blessing by starting my own business. And I feel like anytime that my music touches people and they feel something from it, and it makes them smile and it makes them happy, and it brings joy to somebody's life, that's everything to me. I want my music to make people feel happy. I want people to enjoy it. I want people to feel better about their day, feel better about themselves when they listen to it. That's all I really want. That connection with people, that's my voice. My music is my voice to the world.
That's dope, man. Yeah, I mean, when listening to your music, I don't hear, the everyday beat maker. I hear a songwriter. I hear a person that actually has complete vision for their music from beginning to end. I feel like if a singer or songwriter stepped in the room, I feel like you can be one of those people that can mold yourself around the other creative forces in a room.
Yes, I completely agree. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I could just feel it when I'm listening to your stuff. That that is the that's your personality, and that's what's crazy about music, man. It's like you can actually determine someone's personality based on the kind of music and quality of music they make.
Absolutely, I completely agree with that. Absolutely.
So tell me, I mean, your melodies are really deep. You really convey a story in your music. And these are just beats. These are just instrumentals that I'm hearing. Are you a songwriter? Is that something that you've done before in the past?
I haven't done it in the past, but I hope to do it in the future.
Got it.
Yeah, I would love to. I actually would love to sit down with artists and go through the whole writing process with them, and take a project from A to B, because that's what I used to do. When I produce my brother-in-law, which he goes by the name of Syph, aka El Daddy. I got to give him a shout out. So I love that process of just sitting down with an artist and and how they go about expressing themselves through their words. You know, that's how I feel my music is. I feel my music is my expression. You know, when I can't say what I want to say, or if I'm having a hard time, or I'm, you know, having a great day, I want to express that all through my music. And hopefully people will listen to it and like it and connect with it.
Yeah, so I mean, here's a follow-up question. Are you musically trained? Are you someone that already? Because I can hear the complexities of your chord progressions, especially in tracks like "Emerge" Part 2 and "Catch Me." Like I can hear the complexities in your build-ups and stuff like that. Do you play instruments? Are you trained musically?
No, I'm not trained musically. I play keyboards. I'm not a great keyboard player, but I do understand a lot about music theory. And that's my advice to every producer, is to learn as much music theory as you possibly can, because it's only going to take you to higher ground.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So I'm gonna keep going with this creative stuff, and then we'll start talking about, now that I know that you've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
You know, prior to the whole like internet boom of digital music. And then kind of transitioning into your experiences on platforms like BeatStars, and you know, going from, you know, a totally analog world of hand-to-hand combat to this new digital world of collaboration. And I can't wait to hear your thoughts on that. But before we get there, when you start a track, are you thinking about a particular artist, or are you just letting kind of like your creativity flow and you're just, you know, letting yourself go?
That's a good question. Sometimes I'm thinking about a particular artist. Other times I'm just thinking about like a mood or a feeling, or like I'm looking at something. Like I have the privilege of being able to look outside and see the sky and see the sun, and you know, and just absorb nature sometime, and then that puts me in a completely different creative mood, and I just start creating off of that. Like that's what I did when I created that track I have called Summer. You know, that I wanted to have. It was the first really nice day we had here in the East Coast, and I knew summer was coming, so I wanted people to have that feeling of when they heard the song, of everything that we enjoy about summertime. You know.
Cool. And another thing I've noticed about your beats is how natural the instruments sound. You know, I don't hear a lot of, you know, plugins and effects and on your mixes, but at the same time the mixes sound so clean and dynamic. Now, how do you juggle? Because when I listen to your stuff, man, it's so many different dimensions, there's. It's crazy. It's like you can literally hear another beat if you follow along. There's other beats progressing in the back of the tracks, or in front, or in back, and they all come in at certain moments of mood and you know, emotion. How do you juggle, man, all of those different dimensions and get the mix to sound so cohesive as a song, as a track?
Well, I can't take any credit for the mixing, because I mix it a certain way, but then I send it out to have it professionally mixed, because I feel like I don't have the proper equipment to do it justice right now.
Okay.
You know, so I actually, you know, I mix it a certain way, like if I want something panned to the left or to the right, or, you know, I'll mix it that way, but then I'll send it out to be professionally mixed, so that way I don't have to worry about, you know, the clarity of it. Because for me, as a producer, the most important job is for me to convey my message, but also the quality of the music is extremely important to me. Like I have older tracks that I produced before, you know, real early, you know, when I was starting out, and you could hear the difference in quality compared then to now. Now I you know, this is a business. You know, I mean, I'm taking this seriously as a business. I'm an entrepreneur. So I want to make sure that when my customers buy something from me, I want to make sure they have the best quality.
That is amazing, man. So let's build on that. I mean, when you say that you send your music out to get mixed, and whoever it is that you're working with on the engineering side to mix your stuff, please do not go anywhere else because I think you guys have something really, really special going on together.
Yeah, he's really good. He's great.
Yeah, you guys have something special going on, so keep going with that relationship. But you know, would you recommend all beat makers, all producers to kind of have that assembly line of the finished product? Do you recommend that, hey, you know, sometimes we all can't be the master of every craft. Let's just be the master of putting these sounds together, but letting someone engineer the rest. Is that something that you recommend for people to do?
I recommend it if you don't have the training and if you don't have the proper equipment. Like with me, I'm not a trained engineer, you know, like I know certain things, you know, I know certain levels of EQ and plugins on how to put things on and things like that, but I'm not trained at it. Mm-hmm. So I'd rather concentrate more on creating the song and, you know, and the process of putting melodies together and things like that, and save the mixing for somebody who's better at it. And like I said, I didn't start out that way. When I first loaded my songs on BeatStars, it was all my songs that I mixed, and people listened, but I really wasn't, like, I got no attention. Right. So it was a big learning curve for me to say, it was actually me swallowing my pride and actually saying, this is a business, you know. And that's one thing that's great about me working at a law firm for so long and for so many years, is that I learned about business structure, how you conduct yourself as a professional, and all these great tools. And so I said, if you're going to be an entrepreneur and you're going to take this seriously, you know, I think I'm pretty good as a producer, but I don't think I'm great with mixing yet. So I was like, you got to send it to somebody who's a really, you know, good engineer or a good producer who mixes, or, you know, somebody who really brings your project to the next level.
Cool. So how are some of the, you know, I'm sure a lot of people are curious, especially producers, you know, outsourcing some of those services can get costly sometimes. How do you kind of juggle that? Is that something where you have an agreement with the engineer where you share on some of the sales of your tracks on BeatStars, or is that something you pay him up front to do? Right? Like, no,
I actually pay him up front.
Got it.
I pay him up front, and I pay him up front, and then I have a system of, okay, this is how much I pay for the engineer, this is how much I'm going to sell the track for. That's why when I sell it exclusive, I don't sell an exclusive for something like, say, $200, because, you know, the mixing costs, you know, a certain amount, and I got to take that into consideration.
Right. Of course. And just your time alone in creating the track alone is
exactly
very valuable. So this is a part of the segment of the podcast where I kind of want to get into a track. So I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play a track for the listeners, and then we'll come back and get your feedback. This track is called. This is one of your latest releases, called "Feel It in My Soul" with Hook, and this is a bit more aggressive than some of your other tracks. And let's let that play, and then we'll come back and get some feedback on that.
Okay, great.
Here we go. Cool. So that was "Feel It in My Soul" by Just Enough Rhythm with a hook, and that was a taste of some of his music. So James, you got to tell me, man. I feel like you're trying to portray a message in this track. You're like, when I hear this track, it tells me, if you ain't touching me emotionally, or I mean, feel it in my soul. That's the name of the track. Sorry, yeah. So feel it in my soul. Like, basically, if you're not hitting my emotions, you're not hitting my soul with your music, then don't bring that junk over here, right? It's kind of like one of those, like, if I don't feel it, keep it moving.
Absolutely. I feel like today's music, there are a lot of great musicians. There's a lot of great producers. But sometimes I feel like there's something missing at times. You know, like there's the soul of the music that's missing. And so when I created that track, I wanted people to hear the hook and for them to understand, like, you know, this is what he's talking about. And then when they hear the drums drop, they go, whoa.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, that track instantly had me like talking smack really fast. So yeah, no, I could definitely feel exactly what you were, intending to portray on that track, man. Great job on that one, man. Awesome.
Thank you. I'm actually happy that, you know, like, a lot of times when you do music, you have no idea whether people are going to really understand what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like, you don't understand whether they're going to get your message or not, no matter how much you think that this is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There's no guarantee that people are going to receive it that way. There's no guarantee. So I'm very happy to hear that you got it.
So let's get to the business part. And I wanted to kind of, you know, now that, you know, we've talked, we've got to know you, you know, you don't really have that big of a social presence, especially now with a lot of the kids out there, man. They're hustling and bustling their beats. But I see you really focused on the platform BeatStars, which is where the music happens, right? I feel like your focus is really on BeatStars, and I think you're grabbing it by the reins, and I could see you really putting a lot of effort into, you know, your campaign there. So,
absolutely.
You know, you've generated. I mean, what caught my attention, I think it was prior to you making any sales. I think prior to you making any sales on BeatStars is when I really started noticing your stuff. Somehow I stumbled upon it. I mean, I literally listen to thousands of tracks a day. That's what I do. But, you know, then we started supporting some of your tracks, started reposting them, started, you know, exposing them to our community, and the response has been great. You generated thousands of dollars pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Now, going back to when you originally started producing 15 years ago, to seeing the possibilities of selling your tracks online the way it is now, man, how is that transition affected you on a business level?
Well, on a business level, it's
your strategy. I mean, like your business strategy, basically.
It's funny. Like I said, when I started, I didn't really have a strategy because I had a regular 9 to 5, you know. So I went in the basement, did music, you know, I made music. Everybody in the family looked at me like, oh, it's a nice hobby, you know. But once I took ill and I realized that I may not be able to, you know, work as hard as I was before when I was a paralegal, and as far as traveling back and forth and things like that, I said, well, you've always loved music. You've been doing this for so long. I think it's time that you took it to the next step. And now with the digital age, like, to me, it's easier than when I started. When I started, half the things that I can learn and I can study, I study everything. I study Yale lectures on music and things like that. And these things are available to you for free now. You know, so if you really want to do this as a business, there's every opportunity for you to be successful at it. You You have to put in the time. You have to stay focused, and you have to understand business structure. And I'm understanding more about the business side of things every day, because, you know, being a producer and being a musician is one thing, but understanding how to make money from it is completely different.
Right. Yeah, there's a total, you know, different strategy in being successful online. I mean, it literally sometimes just comes down to setting up your licenses properly on BeatStars.
Exactly.
You know, and very simple tweaks of price points and upselling, and, you know, just communicating and engaging with people that are messaging you and following you, and you know, it can really go so far. Like, how has the response been to your music since you've joined? I mean, you've only been on the site for a couple months, and you know, how has the response been from just music fans and artists and songwriters alone? Have they been reaching out and kind of, you know, telling you how great your music is and things like that?
Yeah, it's been absolutely a dream come true. Like, seriously, like, there have been so many different producers and artists that have reached out to me. They've told me how much they like what I do, and like, we talk through email, we talk through the private messages sometimes, because I like to go around and see what everybody else is doing. I don't feel like, you know, as a music producer, I don't feel like it should just all be about me. You know, so I like to go around and hear what everybody else is doing, because I like to support. So you'll see me on certain, you know, people pages. I'll make comments and things like that, because I always want to show the love and support. Like, I feel like it's a give and it's a take. So since I've been on, the reason why I focus more on BeatStar than anything else is because it's where I have a voice. You know, like you personally, once you reposted my track, that changed everything for me. Like, it really gave me the attention that I needed. It gave me more people listening. You know, like, every time now one of my tracks are reposted, one of my beats are reposted, automatically I start to get more feedback, more likes, more, you know, more people, more customers and things like that. So it's why I focus more on BeatStars, is because, and plus I feel everything is easy to do there. You know, like, it's you've set this brilliant system where it's real easy for you to load up your tracks. You can load up, you know, your zip files, and everything's just 1, 2, 3. It's very simple. It's real easy, and you're in front of, you know, thousands of people. There's thousands of people that go to the site and listen to music. So to me, I looked at it and it was like, I got to really put all my focus. And, you know, that's the thing. Another thing is, producers have to learn that we're going to spend money. You know, sometimes we're just used to spending money on equipment, but we're going to spend money. We have to spend money on mixing. If we don't have the proper equipment and we don't have the skills, we got to spend money on promotion, and especially promotion. You have to spend money on promotion. You have to invest in yourself. That's the best way for people to hear you, you know.
That's dope, man. I mean, just hearing those kind of like stories, you know, from you know, just hear those kind of stories from guys like you that are, you know, just getting acquainted on the site. I mean, we've got guys like you that are, you know, veterans, have been doing this for a long time, and then we've got, you know, the young 16, 17-year-old making a living on BeatStars, 18-year-old, 19-year-old people building these building blocks, and like just really taking their music career into where you said it best at first. You know, you're an entrepreneur, and if we can build that technology and the platform for every independent musician out there to call themselves their own entrepreneur, man, then we've done our job, because that is the empowerment we set out to accomplish. You know what I mean? We don't look at you guys as just another user or member. You guys are our partners in this.
And that's how I feel. Like, from the first time that I joined and I had a question, I sent the email, I really felt like, wow, these people are really backing me. Like, we have their full support. It's not just, oh, you're a user, you know, pay money and that's it. Like, you guys really, really support and believe in us.
And that is Yeah, man, it's a a consistent vision across everyone on the team here. I left my 9 to 5 to do this as well.
Wow.
So I was an A&R over over at Ingrews, which is Universal Music Group's independent distribution and technology arm. And, I used to sign artists. I mean, I've discovered Macklemore and put together groups like Slaughterhouse and put out albums for over 300-400 different labels and artists, right? And but I still was not getting fulfilled. I felt kind of like where you are in your creative position, where it's like there's still a bigger purpose for us, right? There's still a bigger purpose for everyone, and I wasn't fulfilling my purpose. Like, that's great. I represented 300-400 artists and labels, but when can I get to the point where 1 million musicians are feeding their families off a platform that I create and help facilitate? That's when I've made a dent in this world. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And exactly.
And I commend you for jumping all in and not going back to work, and of course this is but it's hard. I did the same thing, man. Like you have to. It's a process. It's not going to happen overnight, but you have to stay consistent, and there is you have to have strong organizational skills. And,
absolutely.
And just from hearing your story, man, I feel like you are going to be one of those success stories that happens on BeatStars, and you are already successful, and you're going to see some amazing things happen for yourself, especially with music sounding like that, man. I mean, it's just awesome.
Thank you so much.
For sure, man. Any I guess we can get into, when you talk about investing in promotion, right? Investing in yourself as an entrepreneur. What are some of the what are some of the tactics, you could say, in the digital world that you've seen yourself gain some success or gain some awareness, and what are some of the things that you do online to help grow your business online?
Well, I make sure that I have a presence on YouTube, because YouTube is extremely important. I don't have the Facebook presence that I would like. I have to really, really work on Facebook. But Facebook and Twitter. I'm on Twitter, but I haven't been on it the way I should.
Right.
But as far as promotion is concerned, it's mostly BeatStar. Like, I promote my stuff on the site all the time. I put videos up on YouTube. I make sure. Sorry to cut you off. So you actually purchase some of the promos available on BeatStars, or? Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, got it.
Do it all the time.
Got it.
Oh yeah, I do it all the time.
And how have you seen the success on that? Is that something that's been beneficial for you?
Absolutely. The reposts are amazing, but when you repost something and then you yourself spend the money to promote it, that's actually double promotion. You will see a lot. I get a lot more plays because of that. And sometimes I'll promote my stuff for about 3-4 days in a row. It's just, I feel like you can't make. I was taught this in law. You can't make money unless you're spending money. Like, it's how it works.
Yeah. Because it's just so saturated. There's just so many.
Right. There's just thousands of producers. I mean, millions of producers on the site. Like, how else are you going to get heard?
Definitely. And I think the first step in that kind of like that first stage of success was investing in the quality of your sound. I think that was probably the first step before you start promoting and spending money on marketing. Is you got the attention of my ear, right? You got the attention.
That was the game changer. That was the game changer for me, because, like I said, when I first put my songs on the site, I got a few likes, but I noticed that no one was really, it wasn't. No, people were listening to it, but it wasn't like people were really feeling it the way the emotions and the energy that I was putting into the track. And I said, well, that means that it's the quality of the track. It's not actually the track. So then I took everything off, and I went and got. That's why I have such that's why I have only a limited amount of songs on BeatStar right now. I took everything off, and then I started sending things out to get mixed, and started putting songs up there, one or two at a time, just to see, the difference between when I had songs mixed and when I didn't have the songs mixed. And it's been a huge improvement since I've been sending it. I will continue to keep sending things out to be mixed, because it's helped me so much.
Right. That's in marketing, that's called A/B testing.
Okay.
And that's literally how some of the biggest marketers in the world conduct business. And basically, a lot of people will put up, 2 different landing pages on a website, right? And they'll put one up with, the video positioned here and a call to action button here, and then they'll have another one with a totally opposite call to action button and video, and they'll measure the performance on both of those landing pages, and whichever one performs better is the one they start running with. And that's essentially basically what you were doing with your music. You started testing out the waters with this certain sound, and then you saw an immediate result when you changed the actual finished product.
Exactly.
And it made a big difference. And just hearing that alone as a testimonial from you is basically telling all producers out there, do not half-ass your sound. That's just can't do
absolutely
it. Absolutely
not. And I also test the market with what I put out. If you notice, sometimes I'll put out like a real happy dance track, and then I'll put something out that's a little bit more, a little harder, like Feel It in My Soul. And I do that to test and see, what are people really responding to that I do.
Mm-hmm. So which track have you seen the best response from so far?
It actually was the track that I sold, which was Summer. That's
Summer. Got it.
Yeah. Summer's been like, people still email me about that. I had a guy email me the other day about that. He said, what happened to Summer? And I explained to him, I said, well, I sold it as an exclusive, but so far that's been like,
that's dope, man. Yeah, so a lot of reason why I'm laughing, I have this conversation with a lot of producers, and a lot of them are on the fence in regards to, should I sell this track exclusively, or should I keep it in my catalog and just keep earning that recurring income?
Right.
And I think you got a nice hefty check for Summer, right? So
I did.
So sometimes you can't, especially when you're first building up your reputation on a site like this, you kind of got to let some of them go initially, and so you can use that money just to kind of reinvest.
And that's exactly what I did.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I didn't want to. I didn't want to let Summer go, but I knew at this point no one really knows who I am. Mm-hmm. So
we're going to change that. We're going to change that for sure. So that's
thank you.
Yeah.
So I figured,
even if I got to start rapping on these tracks,
so I figured, well, because the guy emailed me, he was like, shout out to Roe, because he's a really good artist, and he emailed me and he said, I gotta have that song. And I said, well, I really don't want to sell it, because this is the song that's really building my reputation right now. No one knows who I am. I'm a up and coming producer that I'm trying to get recognition.
Right.
But he, he was real. He stayed on me about it. Like, he kept asking me and asking me and asking me, and I gave him a price. And he said, and I told him the price, and he was like, that's fine. And so once he said that's fine, I had to do it, which is very unusual for somebody who's unknown to sell an exclusive for that price.
That's the beauty. That's the beauty of BeatStars, and I'm gonna tell you why. Not because I'm not trying to toot my own horn, and I'm not trying to say I'm the one responsible for this whole environment, because I'm not. But what I'm trying to say is the beauty about this type of collaboration, where it's independent artists, or even major label artists and independent producers and major label producers, that at the same, we have guys like crucial keys on the site, multiple Grammys, and same thing with Focus, Illmind. We have guys with huge credits, right?
Yeah, you do.
But at the same time, guys without the huge credits that produce amazing quality music get paid the same amount. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who's making the music. It matters, are you contributing to that artist's story? Are you filling that missing piece, that missing puzzle to that artist's album? Because that's all that matters to the artist, right?
Right.
And when they're compelled to say, dude, I'm willing to pay whatever you say your price is, because there's no price on this missing piece to my puzzle. Right. You know what I mean? And that, again, is another testimony into the quality of the music, the emotion, the substance, the story and time that you put in to creating this landscape that will completely separate from an artist willing to pay $20-$30 for a non-exclusive. Sure, I want it. I can use this.
Right.
It'll work. It'll work for what it's going to work for. And in comparison to a track that I have to have this. Like, this is the missing piece of the puzzle. It's the exact same dimensions of the puzzle. You know, there's no, what's the word? I guess there's no compromising.
Right.
There's no compromising. And that's what sets, I think, the real successful producers breaking through the noise than the guys that are just, people that are settling for just a $10, $20 sound that sounds exactly like the previous producer. That sounds like just exactly like the song on the radio. It's just the cookie cutter kind of formula.
Yeah.
And
see, I think that when you spend a lot of time on your craft, mm-hmm. it shows. Like, it took me a week to do summer, and that's how I am. I'm a perfectionist. So sometimes it'll take me a week just to do one song. Sometimes it takes me 2 weeks. It really depends on what I'm working on and how I'm feeling about it. Because there's a way I want it to sound at the end. So when you invest that much time into something, and people gravitate to it that way, and they have to have it, then okay, I'm doing the right thing. I keep going in that direction. Right. It's literally, I hate to keep using analogies, but it's literally like eating non-GMO food, non-genetically modified food, yep. Mm-hmm. and eating the organic, real food. Exactly. That is really exactly what it's like. Yep. Oh man, hey James, it's been great talking to you, man. It's been a pleasure, brother. Do you have any like just last words for the community? I think everyone's going to enjoy this conversation that we had today. Thank you. I just want to say that for everybody listening, if you have a dream, go for it. And the most important thing about going for your dream is surrounding yourself with people that believe in you. I want to thank my daughter. I want to thank my son. I want to thank my fiance. I want to thank my mom for always believing in me and just, being there for me. My fiance, she listens to all of my music. Like, I play her things and she'll be like, I don't know about that. Mm-hmm. And she's not a musician. She's just a listener. But mm-hmm. I respect her opinion so much, and it really helps me convey my message with my music. You got to have a good team. Is what I'm trying to say. Is that right. There are going to be people who don't believe in you. I've had a lot of people that didn't believe in me. It's a lot of people that thought I was crazy for trying to pursue this, especially me being an older producer. And me doing this for so long, and this is the first time that I'm really branching out and making a name for myself and building a business. But for everybody who doubts you, there's going to be somebody who stands by you and believe you. And I want to thank BeatStars for really, really, really helping launch my career. It is so appreciated by me and my family. Thanks, James. And if anyone out there would like to listen to James's music, I highly recommend it. Don't miss out.
on this guy's stuff. It's beatstars.com/justenoughRhythm. Dude, it was a pleasure. We'll definitely be catching up with you. I'm sure 6 months from now we'll be having a different conversation. And good luck the rest of the way, man.
Thank you so much, Abe. I really appreciate it.